The WNBA has been simmering for months. Frustration, whispers, quiet criticism, until one player's raw honesty ripped the lid off. In a single exit interview, Sophie Cunningham didn't just vent, she ignited a firestorm. A revolt is spreading across the league, and at the center stands Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, accused of ignoring players, mishandling officiating, and failing to lead at the moment the league needs her most. This isn't just another postseason rant, it's a movement, and it might reshape the future of women's basketball. It started quietly. After Game 5, Sophie Cunningham stepped to the podium. Her voice was calm, but her words carried the weight of a league on edge. "I'm just tired of our league," she said. She tried to keep her emotions in check, even warning reporters, "I said I was going to be good today." But the dam broke. Sophie accused WNBA leadership of lacking real basketball knowledge, of failing to hold officials and decision-makers accountable, and of leaving players to carry all the risk while executives enjoy the spotlight. This wasn't frustration. It was a warning shot aimed directly at the league's top office. Sophie's words didn't happen in isolation. Nafisa Collier had already lit the match weeks earlier. She had blasted the league's top leadership in a brutally honest statement, calling Kathy Engelbert's leadership the worst in the world. This wasn't just about one bad season. Collier went after the structural core: broken officiating, poor player protections, and a lack of accountability from the commissioner's office. She highlighted what players had whispered all year. Officiating was wildly inconsistent. Dangerous physical play went unchecked. Questionable calls changed the rhythm of games. And when concerns were raised, leadership shrugged. Collier's bluntness cut through years of polite player statements. For the first time, a star player looked straight at the commissioner and said, "You failed us." Privately, conversations between players and leadership painted an even starker picture. When Collier pressed Engelbert about officiating, the commissioner allegedly responded, "Only the losers complain about the refs." When asked about the pay gap for players like Caitlin Clark, who drive massive league revenue but make little in their early years, Engelbert's response stunned everyone in the room. She should be grateful. Without the WNBA platform, she'd have nothing. And in the same breath, Engelbert told players they should get on their knees and thank their lucky stars for the league's media deal. Those words didn't disappear into the air. Collier remembered them. So did the players. And soon, the public would too. Once Collier's accusations went public, media heavyweights took notice. Stephen A. Smith shredded Engelbert's response on national television, calling her leadership weak and saying her job should be on the line. Scott Van Pelt echoed the criticism, pointing to years of ignored player concerns. These weren't niche podcasts. These were some of the biggest voices in American sports, openly questioning whether the commissioner could lead the WNBA into its next chapter. Meanwhile, fans flooded social media. Hashtags supporting Collier trended. Longtime supporters said, "Finally, someone said it." Then came Sophie. If Collier lit the fire, Sophie poured gasoline on it. She didn't dance around the issue. She aimed straight at the heart of the problem. Basketball knowledge at the top. "The people making decisions don't understand the game," she said. "They sit courtside, smile for the cameras, but they don't know what it feels like to get blindsided by a hard screen with no call." She ripped into officiating, calling the games not fun to watch because of how out of control they've become. "Players," she said, "are forced to treat every night like a battlefield just to survive." Her message wasn't just about one foul, one missed call, or one superstar. She named names: Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hull, Kelsey Mitchell, veterans and rookies alike, all facing the same risks with no action from leadership. This was no longer a frustration, it was a movement. Sophie's frustration also exposed something deeper: a broken relationship between players and leadership. She criticized how the commissioner constantly made discussions about herself rather than the players. She called out Engelbert for taking credit for Caitlin Clark's rise, when the truth is, Clark secured her Nike, State Farm, Gatorade, and Wilson endorsements long before setting foot in the WNBA. And that massive media deal the league celebrated? Insiders say it was largely negotiated through Adam Silver and NBA connections, not Engelbert's solo work. For Sophie and her peers, this pattern was clear. Leadership wanted the spotlight but didn't understand or protect the product on the floor. Then came the line that froze everyone. Sophie said, "We are not going to play until they give us what we deserve." With the 2026 CBA negotiations approaching, that wasn't an idle threat. That was a lockout warning. Players aren't just asking for more money, they're demanding safety, fair treatment, and a seat at the decision-making table. For a league riding unprecedented momentum, a lockout would be catastrophic. But Sophie made it clear, continuing under current leadership is not an option. This movement isn't limited to players. Coaches like Cheryl Reeve and Becky Hammon have repeatedly voiced concerns about officiating, only to be hit with fines, a tactic that many see as silencing criticism rather than addressing problems. WNBA legends like Lisa Leslie have joined the chorus, pointing out the widening gap between the talent on the court and the vision in the league office. And when Asia Wilson, the league's MVP, speaks about not being heard, you know this is bigger than one team or one superstar. Here's the contradiction players are highlighting. The WNBA just signed an 11-year, $2.2 billion media rights deal. Team valuations are climbing. Star power is at an all-time high. Yet players still hear the same old excuse: we can't afford it. For Cunningham and Collier, that excuse no longer holds water. This isn't a resource issue, it's a leadership issue. As the pressure mounts, the question becomes unavoidable. Can Kathy Engelbert survive this? She's lost the locker room. She's losing the trust of fans. Even mainstream media is questioning her leadership. The NBA's shadow looms over everything. Insiders whisper that Engelbert hasn't built the relationships needed to unify franchises, players, and sponsors. For a league on the verge of its biggest growth spurt ever, that could be fatal. Every statement she's issued since the Revolt has only widened the gap. Players wanted dialogue. They got PR spin. Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hull. This core isn't just building a basketball team, they're forcing the WNBA to face its deepest problems. Fans don't tune in to watch executives. They tune in for the players. And those players are demanding leadership that matches their ambition. The Revolt led by Collier and supercharged by Sophie isn't going away. It's exposing cracks that have been ignored for too long. And for the first time, the players hold the cards. The WNBA stands at a crossroads. One path leads to accountability, change, and a new era of growth. The other leads to fractures that could stall the league at its most promising moment. The players have spoken, the fans are watching, and the commissioner's future hangs in the balance. Do you stand with Sophie Cunningham and the players demanding change? Tell us what you think in the comments below. Should Kathy Engelbert step down? Hit that like button if you support the players. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest updates on this unfolding WNBA revolution.